Hello guys, my name is Siddhanshu Kapoor. I am your instructor. Today we talk about Azure Load Balancer. Okay, today we do theory of Azure Load Balancer. Okay, so previously in previous section, in previous video, we discussed about global VNet pairing. Okay, so we cover VNet pairing and global VNet pairing in last videos. Okay, so let's start with Azure Load Balancing, guys. Okay, so let's start with this now. If we're talking about the load balancer, load balancer means what? Load balancer means that it balance the load. Okay, it balance the load between the VMs. Okay, or you can say that inside the VMs also. Okay, or you can say that outside the VMs also. Okay, so Azure provides you the load balancer is known as Azure Load Balancer. Okay, so number one point, Azure Load Balancer works on layer 4. Layer 4 means like if we're talking about the OSI layer 4, so it works on transport layer. Okay, fine. So Azure Load Balancer works on transport layer. Number one, it provides high availability by distributing incoming between healthy VMs. Okay, incoming traffic over there. Okay, so it provides high availability by distributing incoming traffics. Okay, so like imagine that I have multiple VMs running in my network. Like imagine that I have a database VMs. Okay, like, or imagine that I have a database servers in my network. Okay, so I need to distribute the load between the database servers. Like imagine I have two database servers. Okay, now all the load by default goes to one database server. Okay, so I want to balance the load between two or more than two database servers, so we can use load balancer. Okay, it provides you high availability also. High availability means like if my one database is not there or it's offline, so I have a second database to manage all those things. Okay, so it gives you high availability also. High availability means fault tolerance. Okay, now virtual machines connects to a load balancer using their virtual network to distribute traffic to the VMs. Okay, so we need one VNet. VNet means virtual network. We already discussed about virtual networks in my past videos. Okay, so with the help of virtual network, you can say that we can use load balancers and manage the traffic between the VMs. Okay, now in Azure Load Balancer we can configure Azure Load Balancer in two ways, you can say that, or we have two types of Azure Load Balancer, you can say that. Okay, so number one, we have public load balancer, and number second, we have internal load balancer. Okay, now what is the meaning of public load balancer? It load balance the incoming traffic between internet traffic on the VMs. Okay, like now I'll give you the example. Like if I showing you the example, like over there we can make one diagram. Like imagine this is my Azure subscription, you can say that. Okay, and over there I can use this is my VNet, you can say that. And that we have this is my Azure subscription, or you can say that this is my Azure region. In my case, I'm using East US. Remember, this is my East US. Okay, and over there I can create one VNet. Okay, and in that VNet I have some VMs. You can say that I create some VMs over there. This is my I have some VMs. Okay, so we have VM. Okay, and in that we can connect some more VMs. Okay, like this, like we have multiple VMs like this. Like imagine I'm using database servers. Okay, so this is my database VM, and I have multiple VMs in my network. Okay, so over there you can say that we have so many VMs. Okay, so now public means like when your traffic comes outside the network. Okay, so with the help of public we can manage, or we can distribute the traffic with the help of public Azure network. Okay, oh sorry, public load balancer. Okay, so like imagine I have a traffic. This is my internet connection, you can say that this is my internet connection. Okay, this is the internet connection I have, imagine. And with the help of this internet connection, the load comes to this VNet and this VM. Okay, so I can set over the load balancer. With the help of this load balancer, the traffic you can say that divided in all the VMs with the help of load balancer. So that is known as a public load balancer. So public load balancer used in you can say that used in managing the incoming internet traffic. You can say that it is manage the incoming internet traffic on the VMs. Okay, now we have an internal load balancer. Now internal load balancer means within the network. Like imagine I have one network like this. Okay, so within the network I can use a load balancer to manage a load with the help a load in multiple VMs. Okay, so now why we use a load balance, I hope you're able to understand. Okay, we can use with the help of load balancer we can manage load between VMs also. Okay, between it's not only the VMs. You can say that if you have a multiple servers, you can say that okay, we have multiple database servers, and we have multiple other server 2012 servers. We have multiple file servers. We have multiple AD servers. Okay, so we can use a load balancer to manage the load. You can say that. Okay, so now we have two types of load balancer: public load balancer and internal load balancer. So public load balancer works load balance in your incoming internet traffic, and internal load balancer manages the internal traffic of VM. Okay, now with the help of Azure load balancer we can manage port forward traffic to a specific port on a specific VM. Now what is the meaning of port forward? Now your load balancer works on ports also. Like imagine I want that, like imagine I have 4 VMs like this. Okay, so I want that in this VM I want the traffic comes only on HTTP port, means port number 80 only. Okay, so we can specify the port also in a specified VM that okay, the traffic the traffic goes incoming or outgoing traffic comes only port number 80 only to so you can say that I allow only port number 80 over there. Okay, so the incoming traffic and the outgoing traffic comes on this VM only port number 80, not not other ports. Okay, so we can define a specific port to a specific VM also in with the help of load balancer. Okay, so you can say that in short, load balancer works on ports also. Okay, now with the help of load balancer we can also manage outbound connectivity for VMs inside the network. Okay, so the same thing, like imagine that if I want that this is my inside network, like imagine this is my inside network. Okay, and I want that with the help of this VM, if I want to send any traffic to outside the network. Okay, so we can use only a specific port. Okay, so we can manage our outbound connectivity also. Okay, or you can say that imagine that someone tries to connect with my this VM in outside the network. Okay, so I tell them that okay, you can use only this port to connect my VM. Okay, so we can manage, you can say that we can manage the help of load balancer, we can manage outcoming or outbound traffic also. Okay, now after that we have, now if you're talking about the load balancer, so load balancer works on hash based algorithm. Okay, it uses these five components. You can say that it uses this five hash, like starts with IP, source IP, source port, destination IP, destination port, and IP protocol. Okay, it uses these 5 hash to protect our, or you can say that to divide the traffic. Okay, like imagine if I'm using internal load balancer, so it uses these 5 components, you can say that, to filter the traffic. Okay, it doesn't matter, you can use internal load balancer or public load balancer. In both the load balancer it uses these 5 hash, you can say that it uses these 5 options. Okay, to filter the load filter the traffic. Okay, or to manage the traffic, that. Okay, so now if you're talking about if your load balancer works on ports, so it uses only two things: source port, okay, and destination port only. That's it. Okay, it uses only 2 things: source port and destination port. Okay, if you're working on if your load balancer working on ports, okay, so it uses only source port and destination port. Okay, instead of port, if I'm using if I am simply managing my traffic, or if I am simply you can say distribute my traffic between VMs, so we can use so the load balancer uses all this 5 options. Okay, fine. So this is what we have, a load balancer. Okay, now if we're talking about the Azure, so we have some more thing also. Like first is known as SKU in load balancer. So what is the known what is the use of SKU? SKU is known as stock keeping unit. Okay, it's a very good point in Azure. With the help of SKU, you can say that Azure defining the balancer pricing. You can say that. Okay, so if we're talking about the packages, or you can say that with the help of SKU, Azure defines the package. That what Azure gives you two types of packages. Like if you want to use load balancer, then you need to select the packages first. That what kind of package I'm going to use load balancer. Okay, so now in Azure we have two types of SKU. You can say that standard SKU, okay, and standard SKU, and you can say that basic SKU. Okay, so if we're talking about the standard SKU, so first we depends on pool size. That pool size means that how much VM we can use. Okay, if we're talking about the pool size, that in that how much VMs we can use. So in standard SKU we can say that support 1000 virtual machines. It means it manages the traffic between 1000 virtual machines in standard SKU. Okay, but if you're talking about the basic SKU, it manages only 100 virtual machines, not more than that. It support only 100 virtual machines. It means like if I'm using the basic SKU pricing or basic SKU package on load balancer. Okay, so we are able to use the it means we are able to use only 100 virtual machines. Means we can balance the load between 100 virtual machines, not more than that. Okay, now after that we have a backend pool endpoint. Okay, the known as backend pool endpoint. Okay, we can create multiple availability set to deploy load balancers. Okay, availability set means like in Windows, when I can going to configure a high availability or load balancer, we need to create clusters. Okay, I hope some persons are know about clusters. So like in Windows servers, you can see that, like if you're talking about the servers, so in servers, if I want to configure load balancing, or if I want to configure high availability, so we can create clusters. Okay, so same over there also. We can create available sets. So in one available set, we can add multiple virtual machines. Okay, and we can apply the load balancer like this. Okay, so in standard SKU we can create multiple availability set. It means we can create multiple clusters. We can add in one cluster, we can add multiple virtual machines. Like imagine I can create 5 clusters. In one cluster I have 10 virtual machines. So total we have 50 virtual machines, and I divide those 50 virtual machines between 5 clusters. Okay, so we can create multiple clusters over there. You can see that multiple availability set to deploy load balancer. But in basic, if we're talking about the basics, in basic we can create only one availability set, not more than that. Okay, so that is the difference between basic and standard. Now health probe. Now next one is health probe. Means you can say that when you defining load balancer on a port, okay, or when you define a load balancer. Okay, so in standard we can define load balancer on TCP, HTTP, and HTTPS. These are the health probe, means the port. Okay, where you can define the load balancer. So in standard we can use TCP, HTTP, and HTTPS. These 3 protocols. Okay, and in basic, if we're talking about the basics, so we can use only TCP and HTTP. We're not able to use HTTPS. Okay, so I already told you in the previous slide. You can see that, see, it works on IP protocols. Okay, so it works on 3 IP protocols. You can see that this is the 3 protocols: TCP, HTTP, and HTTPS in standard only. Okay, if you're using basic package of load balancer, then it use only TCP and HTTP, not more than that. Okay, now we can go for health probe down. Like now what happens, like if my now health probe down means like if I have like I can create one cluster and I have 5 virtual machines or 10 virtual machines in one cluster. Okay, so now in standard, if my all machines are down, still my TCP connections are live on those machines. Okay, it wait for you can say that in standards it wait for up the virtual machines. Okay, like imagine if your full cluster is down, still my TCP connection are alive, alive. You can see that in the particular cluster. Okay, like imagine if I have out of 10, I have 9 virtual machines are down, or you can say that all 10 virtual machines are down in one cluster. So still my TCP connections are live. It waits Okay, it checks again and again. Okay, your load balancer checks the virtual machines. It sends, you can say that, 5 messages. Okay, you can say that in servers you can call it known as heartbeat. Okay, so it checks the heartbeat of the servers. How it checks the heartbeat of the servers? It sends 5 messages. Okay, if he gets all five, you can say that reply, then like imagine, my load balancer sends 5 messages to a particular server. Okay, message 1, message 2, message 3, message 4, message 5. Okay, and your server reply all those 5 messages. It means the server is healthy, and that the particular virtual machine, or that the particular virtual server is healthy. If he misses, you can say that out of 4 messages he misses, so it means that the load balancer assumes that that server is not healthy, or that server is down. Okay, so it stays, you can see that it wait whether the server is up, so it tries to communicate the server. Still, the cluster is down, but still it's try to communicate the server. But in basic, if all your you can say that if all your virtual machines in cluster is down, okay, so TCP, so all TCP connections are terminated at the in that point. Okay, in standard the connections are not terminated, it still wait. But in basic load balancer, or you can say in basic SKU, all connections are terminated. Once your cluster is down, or once your availability set is down, all connections are terminated in basic. Okay, so that is the difference between, that is the behavior between standard and SKU, standard and basic SKU. Now we have the option availability zone. So we can use load balancing in cross, you can say cross regions also. Like imagine I can, I have my one machine works in East US, and my one machine works in West US. Okay, so still I'm able to use load balancing on those particular virtual machines. Okay, and we can use zone redundant. Redundant means we can make multiple links between the zones. Okay, between the two regions. Okay, now these facility are not available in basic SKU. You can say that we're not able to use cross load balancing. Okay, so it means if I'm using the basic SKU, so my virtual machines or my clusters are in same zone, you can say that. Okay, now the last thing, the second last thing is known as management operations. Okay, so you can say that in standard SKU all the operations mostly done in 30 seconds, but in basic SKU all the operations done in 60 to 90 seconds typically. Why? Because in standard SKU it's a chargeable, you can say that, so they gives you high resources, high configurations. But if you're talking about the basics, so it's not chargeable, so that's why it don't give you that much high resources. So that's why it takes time to implement the load balancer, or to do the management operations and all things. Okay, so that's already told you that in pricing it's a charged, it charged based on rules and resources. Okay, so what kind of implementation you need, okay, what kind of load balancer you are using, okay, so it charged based on that. Okay, what kind of resources you are using in standard SKU, so it charged based on that. But in basic SKU there is no charge, because it's a totally free, you can say that, you can use totally free in over there in basic SKU. It's a free. Okay, so in that we can use load balancer. So that is a short difference between standard SKU, standard pricing, you can say that, and basic pricing of load balancer. Okay, so that is the difference between. So I hope you're able to understand what is load balancer. So I'll go, I quickly refresh once what we can read. We can read a load balancer. What is load balancer? Okay, we can see the points that where load balancer works on layer 4 OSI model. Okay, it provides high availability. Okay, it distribute incoming packets between incoming traffic between the healthy VMs. Remember this, healthy VMs. Okay, virtual machines connect to a load balancer using the virtual network to distribute traffic. Okay, it has two ways: public load balancer, internal load balancer. Okay, a load balancer works on those 5 tuple hash points. Okay, source IP, source port, destination IP, destination port, IP protocol. All these means you can say that it works on these components. Okay, and it works on hash based algorithm. Okay, we can manage port also. Okay, we can manage port forward traffic also to a specific port to a specific VM, that I want that okay, on this VM I use only port 80 only, so the traffic comes and comes incoming traffic and outgoing traffic only work on port 80, that's it. Okay, so like this. Now after that we can learn about what is SKU. So SKU is known as a stock keeping unit. It is known as that with the help of SKU, Azure defines the price list, you can say that, or packages. Okay, so we can use two packages, standard SKU and basic SKU in load balancer. Okay, so standard SKU, I already told you all those stuffs. Okay, so you need to understand the differences between standard SKU and basic SKU. Basic SKU is totally free. We not give any charge on using if I use basic SKU load balancer. Okay, so I hope you understand this video, guys. Okay, please like the video, please share the video with your friends. Okay, if you have any question, any doubt, please comment me. Okay, thank you for watching, guys.